911, what's the address of your emergency?
My friend called me and said that he fell on his skateboard and he was at McDonald's on me. And I'm over here, and he's like laying there with burns of blood, and his eyes are open. He's not breathing.
He's not breathing?
Officers rush to the scene. On arrival, they see a young man lying motionless on the ground. The 911 caller still beside him, frantic and terrified. Medics and officers move in immediately, checking for signs of life, beginning desperate life-saving procedures right there on the sidewalk. But it's too late. The victim is pronounced dead at the scene. His name was Gabriel Perez. Officers begin canvassing the area, searching for clues that could explain what happened.
Mr. Perez was shot 3 times. One of the bullets went through his heart, and that's what killed him.
Officers spoke to the 911 caller, Marianne Delgado. She told them she and Gabriel Perez had gone to a party that night.
She went back to Moorhead, Minnesota, and left Gabriel Perez back at this house party. Perez starts sending her several messages, and Perez wants her to come back. He wants a ride. Gabriel Perez was sending multiple texts, increasing in urgency. Around 5 a.m., when she got there, she found out what state he was in and called 911.
Investigators began processing the scene. They found multiple bullet impact marks on the sidewalk, the parking lot concrete, and even on the facade of McDonald's. A .45 caliber shell casing was recovered near Gabriel Perez's body.
One .45 caliber casing was found on scene. So one of the questions is, where are the other casings? Gabriel Perez's cell phone was located near his body. We wanted to see if that had any location information to show his whereabouts leading up to his death.
Officers then delivered the devastating news to Gabriel Perez's family. Their son and brother was gone.
I got a call from my mom.
Hey, Mom.
And she was crying. She ended up blurting out that Gabriel's dead. I remember just dropping on the floor. I just couldn't process any of it.
I hear a loud banging on my door. And my dad comes in, and then he told me, and I'm like, Like, are you joking with me? Because it just didn't seem real.
My phone starts ringing. And it's my brother telling me, hey, they found Gabriel dead at McDonald's. Tears were running down my face. And it feels like my rib exploded. I can't even breathe.
With no witnesses and no clear leads, officers quickly realized their only hope for answers was the surveillance footage.
McDonald's had multiple cameras.
It was very fortunate, in a sad way, that this shooting happened outside of McDonald's because there were several cameras pointed directly at the area of the shooting.
They have 2 cameras that covered the side of McDonald's where Gabriel Perez was shot. Camera 15 is pointing towards the south and the east, and that covers part of Main Avenue going towards the east of McDonald's. Stop. We can see Gabriel Perez arrive at about 5:20 a.m. It's at about 5:21 a.m. You can see Gabriel appears to be using a cell phone.
He was messaging Miss Delgado to tell her to come pick him up, and had told her that he had slipped and fallen on his skateboard.
We don't know if he did fall off his skateboard or if he was just trying to get Delgado to hurry up and get over to McDonald's. He then sits down on the curb. The next thing we see is a black SUV come flying into the parking lot.
The vehicle immediately approaches Perez, stops,
Gabriel Perez looks up to see who stopped abruptly right in front of him and immediately stands up and starts running to get away from this vehicle. We don't know why. The vehicle speeds out of the parking lot and then drives eastbound on Main Avenue.
Officers then turn to another camera, this one covering the opposite side of McDonald's.
On the west-facing camera, we could see the vehicle enter the parking lot.
Stopped. At 5:23 a.m., we could see the vehicle stop right in front of Gabriel Perez. The driver reaches across his body with his right hand. You can see a pistol in his hand. And he fires downward at Gabriel Perez. You can see the recoil from the gun as multiple shots are fired.
Perez runs away as far as he can before he collapses to the ground. The actions depicted in the McDonald's footage very clearly identified that the person who pulled that trigger was acting with an intent to kill.
We slowed it down, watched it several times, trying to identify what make and model that vehicle is. It appears to be a black Chevy Trailblazer. There was no license plate visible on the vehicle. The video wasn't crystal clear, but we could see the vehicle had unique stickers that we keyed in on. There's one on the rear windshield. And there was also another sticker that stood out that was on the rear driver's side door.
Officers immediately alerted law enforcement to be on the lookout for the suspect vehicle. They then turned their focus to understanding Gabriel Perez's movements before the shooting.
Delgado said the people that were at the house party were a friend named Devin and Devin's boyfriend, Ryan. We speak with them.
At the house party, Ryan and Devin spent the night playing video games, while Gabriel Perez kept receiving constant messages that seemed to concern him. No one asked who he was talking to. Eventually, Ryan went to sleep, then Devin, and sometime later, Gabriel left the house. No one knew where he was going.
Next day, they wake up, and Gabriel was no longer there.
No one really knew where Gabe was going when he left that night.
We looked at surveillance video from a traffic cam on 13th Avenue and South University Drive. Sometime after 4 a.m., Gabriel Perez was sending multiple texts telling Delgado he needs a ride. He arrived at McDonald's at 5:20 a.m., so that's the time frame we want to grab this video from.
That's him.
The traffic cam at University and 13th Avenue showed Gabriel skateboarding at 5:09 a.m.
We could see in that video that Gabe was traveling alone and he was traveling north.
It's pretty much just him on the street by himself. Watching this video of Gabriel Perez en route to McDonald's, nothing stood out as concerning.
So at that point, the suspect vehicle was still at large and we had no identified person associated with the shooting.
Meanwhile, Gabriel Perez's family was in shock, unable to believe he was gone. In his grief, Gabriel's uncle searched his room and noticed a phone number pinned to the board. Out of instinct, he dialed it. On the other end was a frantic woman.
Approximately 6:40 p.m., we receive a phone call from the uncles of Gabriel Perez.
And what did she say?
They spoke with a female. This female implied that she had knowledge that Gabriel Perez was dead. She was expressing guilt over his death.
She didn't identify herself at that point,
but we knew this number connects to somebody that's going to get us directly to the killer. We have that phone number ran through the Fargo police records. Turns out that that phone number was actually a voice over IP number ran by a company called Text Now. So I submitted an emergency disclosure to Text Now to identify who this woman is.
As investigators looked into the mysterious woman on the call, they suddenly received another tip. A call that would change the course of the case.
Moorhead police called us and said they located a black SUV that appears to be a black Chevy Trailblazer. So this case is now moving at an extremely fast pace.
The vehicle itself matched the broad description of what was seen on the McDonald's video.
This vehicle was parked in an apartment complex. Black Chevy Trailblazer, no license plate.
There was a sticker on the back of the vehicle which had been partially peeled off.
That sticker that we could see on the surveillance video from McDonald's had been removed. However, they did a poor job at removing it. It was apparent it was the same vehicle. There's actually a fired cartridge casing on the outside of the front windshield, right by the windshield wipers. And it's a .45 caliber casing, consistent with the one we found at the scene. My thoughts are, what are the odds? We then obtained a search warrant and subsequently searched the vehicle. One of the things that was found is a receipt.
See that?
And it's an ATM withdrawal receipt.
From Vision Bank in Fargo, we could see that there was a time and a date stamp. September 22nd at 9:04 p.m. The night that Gabe was killed.
So my next step is I went to Vision Bank and obtained a subpoena requesting that they provide me with any surveillance video the bank has to see who was withdrawing that money at that time.
As investigators looked into the mysterious woman on the call, they suddenly received another tip. A call that would change the course of the case.
I start looking through Text Now's data, which identifies the subscriber as Miguel Cooley. Cooley and her husband have multiple children together. They reside in Moorhead. Now we have a big decision on our hands. How do we try to reach out to Izetta in a way that's not going to precipitate further violence? What we decide is we can't risk reaching out until we knew more information.
Officers checked both Gabriel Perez's and Miguel Cooley's social media accounts. At first, they found nothing. Izetta's Facebook showed no direct link. Gabriel was closer in age to her oldest son, but when investigators looked deeper into Gabriel's account, they found something unusual.
Saw on September 20th, he friended Izetta Cooley. And we can see some Facebook messages between Izetta and Gabriel Perez. Looking through those messages, initially, Izetta sent Gabriel messages saying she was looking for her daughter, and quickly, Gabriel Perez turns a message to Izetta saying how he thinks Izetta was attractive. And that appeared to spark conversations back and forth that read pretty flirtatious between the two of them.
Through the course of the next several days, Izetta and Gabe keep talking.
On September 21st, Gabriel seemed to initiate trying to coordinate a time to meet, that the two were going to be romantic with each other. And then a few hours before the murder, the messages drastically change. Izetta's messages about meeting up with Gabriel appeared to be increasing in urgency.
Izetta reached out to Gabe to set up a meetup at the McDonald's restaurant that morning.
She's setting up to meet.
Within minutes of him arriving, Gabe reaches out to Izetta and tells her, "I'm here at the McDonald's."
2 minutes after Gabriel Perez sends the message, the black SUV pulls up. The driver reaches across, raises a gun, and shoots him dead.
The next step was figuring out who it was that was driving that Trailblazer and who pulled the trigger.
Investigators got the surveillance footage from the ATM that was used that night.
I see a black SUV appearing to be a black Chevy Trailblazer. It pulls right up to the ATM. And that's where you get a good look of the driver withdrawing cash.
Stop.
You can see the stickers in the vehicle that matched the McDonald's video. Most notably, you can see who's driving. He's dressed in the same clothing that the shooter appeared to be wearing in the McDonald's video. That was a pretty big moment in the investigation, but now we needed to identify the driver. When we found the vehicle, there was no license plate, but the vehicle has a vehicle identification number or VIN number. We ran the VIN number of that vehicle, and the VIN number came back to Miguel Cooley. We start running backgrounds on them to figure out as much as we can. Miguel Cooley was married to Miguel Cooley Sr.
Investigators pulled up the driver's license of Miguel Cooley. The photo matched perfectly with the man seen in the ATM footage.
There's no doubt it was Miguel Cooley Sr. driving that vehicle. We've now got a suspect identified. So now we have to go apprehend him.
With a warrant in hand, officers searched Miguel Cooley's home. Inside, they found Izetta, but Miguel was gone. The search turned up large amounts of .45 caliber ammunition, but no firearm. What they did recover were 3 sets of Chevy keys, a direct link to the suspect vehicle used in the shooting.
That's a significant piece of evidence. Those keys link that vehicle to that residence.
That solidified the connection between Miguel Cooley and this crime.
Izetta was taken to the station for further questioning.
You can't do it. I'm barely keeping it together today, man. I can't even breathe. I can't even breathe.
Izetta was not the most cooperative during the interview. She was very vague on a lot of things. I asked her if she was engaging with some sort of romantic relationship with Gabriel Perez.
There was no relationship.
Why did you want to meet with him? Because messages read like you two are flirting.
I wasn't having a relationship.
So you were just toying around with him? Or just flirting kind of for fun? Well, then what does it mean?
Miguel Cooley also was maintaining her husband's innocence.
I don't know that we can incriminate him more than he's incriminated the whole shooting on video.
You guys don't understand. It's not living. I'm not talking to you.
Try me.
I'm done.
While Izetta was being interviewed, detectives got a call. Miguel Cooley had been tracked down. He was hiding at his sister and brother-in-law's home. Cooley had even changed his appearance, shaving off his beard. But it didn't matter. He was arrested for the murder of Gabriel Perez.
That was a really big relief for me and my family. It's one step closer to getting Gabriel justice.
I was definitely glad that he got found. But at the same time, it just like I didn't want to accept the fact that Gabriel was gone. So you know what I mean? I just felt so lost on it.
Miguel Cooley was brought into jail for questioning. Detectives wanted to know, why did he kill Gabriel Perez?
We're here to talk with you about what's been going on the last few days.
Yeah, everything's like blurred.
What pissed you off and got you to the point that Sunday morning it happened? Why
No,
you were
no, I was getting jumped. I went to Austin.
Austin, Minnesota?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went there and want to get some tires. If they have any tires at the Walmart there.
All he told us was everything was a blur. He wanted to talk about having a flat tire, so very nondescript, nothing that would rule him out.
Yeah, but it depends if any someone told me how to get one.
He requested his attorney, so we never spoke any further than that. It can be a little frustrating at times when people don't want to talk, but I mean, that's their right.
Detectives still needed to confirm Izeda's role in the crime. They examined her phone to see who had been messaging Gabriel Perez. One text stood out. Izeda wrote that Miguel had taken her car to get food from a nearby restaurant. When officers checked the location, it was just blocks from the McDonald's. They pulled the restaurant's surveillance footage, and what they found was critical.
Sure enough, Miguel Cooley entered the restaurant at about 5:09 a.m.
The Frying Pan restaurant is within blocks of the McDonald's where Gabe Perez was shot and killed.
Cooley looks like he's ordered food or is waiting for an order.
In the video from the Frying Pan, you can see Mr. Cooley's wearing the same shirt that he appears to be wearing on both the Vision Bank footage and the McDonald's footage. So he's within the area of the crime and communicating with someone in the moments before.
We know on the day of the murder, Izeda and Gabriel are exchanging messages. Izeda appears to be asking to meet with Gabriel Perez at the McDonald's. The Frying Pan video showed Miguel Cooley exiting the business at about 5:16 a.m. Gabriel Perez's last message to Izeda Cooley is at 5:21 a.m. And it just says that he's there at McDonald's. And within minutes, Miguel Cooley Sr. drives up and essentially executes him.
On August 22, 2019, Miguel Cooley appeared in court and pled guilty to first-degree murder. The motive soon became clear. Miguel Cooley had discovered flirtatious messages between his wife and Gabriel Perez. Consumed by rage, he took over Izeda's Facebook account, lured Gabriel into a meeting at McDonald's, and then arrived himself with the clear intent to kill. On January 13, 2020, the court delivered its verdict. Miguel Cooley was sentenced to 50 years to life in prison for the murder of Gabriel Perez. Under the ruling, he will be eligible for parole only after serving 35 years, if he shows good behavior behind bars. His wife, Izeda Cooley, faced no charges. Investigators found no evidence linking her directly to the crime.
New developments in a Fargo murder case today. It's 35 years in prison for a man who shot another man in a drive-by shooting outside a McDonald's. This man, Miguel Cooley, was sentenced today. He shot 20-year-old Gabriel Perez 3 times in September 2018 when he was sitting on a curb outside the downtown restaurant. He was on the run for a few days before being captured in southeast Minnesota. Today, family of the victim was outraged in the courtroom when the sentence was handed down, saying 35 years was too light of a sentence. Prosecutors agreed that it was fair because it's almost a life sentence. If he's released early, the soonest he could get out of prison is when he's 75.